Diving competition is over here in Barcelona, ending with the men's platform competition yesterday. It was his first major international competition, but Scott Donie was the picture of concentration between dives. With each appearance on the platform, Donie looked stronger and stronger. His tucks tight, his entries smooth. And he had the Grateful Dead between rounds to keep him calm. He was in 4th place after 6 dives, just out of the medals. But there were no touches of gray on this day for Donie. It was his 7th dive that moved him into the medals. And his 8th put him into 2nd place.
And it continues.
Donie, 23, from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, just had to get his last 2 dives smoothly into the water to hold on to the silver and hold off those U.S. Blues. He did just that, breaking up the chances of a Chinese sweep of the top 2 spots and winning the 3rd American diving medal of these games. And we welcome this morning Scott Donie. Hi, Scott.
Hello.
How are you?
Great.
I understand you went out and celebrated last night, maybe a little too much. How are you feeling this morning?
I feel fine.
Yeah.
I feel great.
You went out and partied, though, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, I celebrated. It was, a great day for me.
Well, I'll try to talk very softly just for you. I know this was your first major international competition, and you came out of it with the silver medal. Were you shocked?
Well, I was real confident going in. I'd been diving great, and dove real well in the prelims. So, I'd already learned how to deal with the pressure, so I was pretty confident.
You, I know, wrote a letter to Greg Louganis in 1988. He's been a role model for so many divers coming up through the ranks. What did you write to Greg Louganis back then?
Well, when he retired, I wrote him a letter, and I just said, congratulations. You deserve, winning the 2 gold medals in back-to-back Olympics. And I just said, I hope that, I can in some way pick up where you left off, because he really set a great standard for U.S. diving.
During the competition yesterday, you were in 11th place after 3 dives. How did you turn it around and get to the number 2 spot?
Well, actually, the only reason I was in 11th after 3 dives is because of low degree of difficulty. My strategy is to put a high degree of difficulty dive for my 4th voluntary dive and put 3 real easy ones along there with it, because I have a dive that I'm real confident on and that I can get 10s on. So that's the only reason I was in 11th. It's kind of deceiving the way it works out.
Your friend or your teammate, Matt Scoggin, had a bad experience on one of those dives. Were you watching that, and did that shake you up at all?
I didn't watch any of the competition, but I did see Matt with the doctors and some trainers after one of his dives, and I hadn't seen it until this morning, what happened. It's just, it's just terrible. I feel terrible for him.
He ruptured his lung, but we understand he's doing fine this morning, so everyone knows. Yeah. Between dives, we saw you listening to your Walkman. You're like a deadhead? What's the deal? That's relaxing?
Yeah. Well, I woke up with the song in my head this morning, and it was, a slow song. And
what song?
It was Bird Song.
Can you sing a little for us?
All I know is something like a bird within her sang, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay, and that's what you were listening to between dives yesterday?
Yeah.
And you were also playing Nintendo, Game Boy Golf?
Yeah. I have a routine that's very set of what I do in between my dives to keep myself distracted from the competition. And I listen to music and play the Game Boy.
Now, before we go, I have to ask you about the gold medalist, another Chinese diver. His name is Sun Shu Wei, 16 years old. Yeah. What did you think about his abilities on the platform?
The Chinese divers are amazing. To reach that level at such a young age is just, a credit to the Chinese diving system. They are so amazing, and their ability to be tough in competitions is equally amazing to their physical talent.
Do you think the U.S. divers will ever catch up with them?
Well, actually, I more look at it as if they just caught up with us. China had never won a gold in men's diving until yesterday. So really, they just caught up with us.
Well, Scott Donie, congratulations on your silver medal, the diving deadhead. We're very happy for you, and thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.
And we'll be back with much more from Barcelona, Spain, right after this.
One of the most famous sights in the world, the city of Barcelona, the backdrop of the Montjuic swimming pool, the diving venue of the games of the 25th Olympiad. And we're ready now for the men's platform competition, the preliminaries. Here is Scott Donie of the United States. In the trials, he started very slowly and came on strong at the end. But at this level of competition, he has to hit it right from the get-go.
You know, I talked to Scott the other day, and he said he was really ready. He felt that the Olympics was a treat for him. He deserved to be here, as he put it. And I like his style. He is very dynamic, and he's very aggressive. And that's what it's going to take, as you say, Charlie, from the get-go here to be right in the thick of things. He's got an inward dive in the pike position. It's a low degree of difficulty, but he generally rips the bottom without a splash going in the water.
He rips it.
He is known for his entries. He has especially big hands, which sounds kind of funny, but as the divers go through the water, they actually punch a hole in the water, which creates a vacuum, thus causing the water to go down instead of up. Look at that entry. There just isn't any water coming up. And of course, that's what the judges look for at the last minute.
That's my hardest one.
Oh, and a great start for Scott, 37-38. Scott Donie of the United States. He is currently in 19th place after the first round. The top 12 make the finals.
Scott says he loves to perform for an audience, and what an opportunity today. The world is his stage. He's got a back dive in the pike position. He'll reach up to the sky, bring his legs to his hands, and lay back and float to the air on the vertical line.
The world is his stage, and Barcelona is his backdrop.
Dive just a little bit, and he missed it on the bottom as he was coming out of his pike. You can tell by his face that he knows he missed that dive. He reaches very well here. His feet come right up to his hands, but you'll notice there's an arch in his back, right in the lower part of his back. He's picked up some arch. What happens there is your feet swing by the vertical line and you pick up a little bit too much splash. The judges do note that before they hit their buttons on the scorecards.
Here are Scott's scores: 6 and 7s, 36-18. Welcome back to the Montjuic swimming pool. We're ready now for the third and final dive of the first session of the men's platform preliminaries. Here's Scott Donie of the United States. He's in 22nd place.
But there's a reason Scott Donie's in 22nd place. The way the rules are, the first 3 dives can add up only to a degree of difficulty total of 6.1. Scott is stacking most of his DD on this dive. It's a reverse 2.5 in the tuck position. He has been known to drill this dive, and that's why the pressure is on now. A terrific dive by American Scott Donie. Watch how explosive he is coming off the tower. Nice tight little ball. Kicks out real hard there, looks back, watch the entry. I would imagine that the judges will reward him with some decent scores here.
Mostly 8s. There's a 9, 63-99.
Those games are hard when you are Scott Donie, and between the platform and the water, there's a dizzying 33 feet to make a critical mistake. Los juegos son difíciles. First up, though, it's diving, the preliminaries of the men's platform competition. If you were with us this afternoon, you saw this, the third round dive of Matt Scoggin. He's 28 years old. He's from Austin, Texas. Scoggin is competing in his first Olympics, and this left him in 4th place. His teammate also making his Olympic debut, Scott Donie, is a 23-year-old from Fort Lauderdale. He was 5th after this dive. And here is the swimming pool for dive 4 of the prelims. Here's Charlie Jones.
Welcome back to the second session of the men's platform preliminaries, with 4 dives in this session, 3 in the first session. After the first 3 rounds, Jan Hempel of Germany was leading, and then the 2 Chinese, followed then by the 2 Americans, Matt Scoggin and Scott Donie. And then the youngster that has captured everybody's imagination, 14-year-old Gabriel Couric of Romania. Now here's Scott Donie of the United States.
And this is Scott's most worrisome dive out of all the ones we're going to see him perform this afternoon. It's an arm stand cut through reverse 1.5.
Why is it worrisome?
It's not so much the dive once he gets off the platform. It's the arm stand itself. You'll notice he has a wrist brace on his right arm. And the reason he's got that wrist brace is he had surgery in October. And it's a little bit weak, so his handstand is a little disconcerting, although he's doing it well here.
How long does he have to hold?
At least 3 seconds to show control. That was a great start for Scott Donie. He worries about that arm stand. You have to show control, and effectively what that means here is you've got to hold it for approximately 3 seconds. He gets a great pop off the platform, hard kick out, good entry into the water. That is a great start on his worrisome dive.
And his scores, 7.5, 7.5, there's 8.5, 60-84. Here are the standings after round 4. Sun Shuwei of China has moved back into first place. Matt Scoggin and Scott Donie of the United States hold at 4 and 5. And the youngster, the kid, Gabriel Couric of Romania, is in 11th place. Remember, the top 12 will make the finals as the games of the 25th Olympiad continue from Barcelona. And here is Scott Donie of the United States in 5th place.
Scott loves to put on a show for the audience, and today he's performing for the world. It's a front 3.5 in the pike position. Wow! Did you hear the sound when he hit the platform? His family knows he hit that dive. When he hit the end of the platform, he pounded on it. He got this dive moving. A nice pike. His knees are a little bent there, but it's hard for the judges to see that. And that dive disappeared. He is being very aggressive in these later rounds, and that's what it's going to take to be there in the finals.
And his score, mostly 8s, a couple of 8.5s, 72 points. Here are the standings after 5 of 7 rounds in the preliminary competition. Sun Shuwei continues to lead. Scott Donie of the United States has moved from 5th to 4th. Matt Scoggin has dropped down to 7th. And the kid, Gabriela Couric, is now in 16th, but he is just 4 points out of 12th place. Welcome back to the Montjuic swimming pool with the city of Barcelona in the background. The preliminaries, the men platform competition, round 6 of 7 rounds. Here is Scott Donie of the United States. He has now moved up to 4th place.
Scott is diving with an incredible amount of confidence today. He is very